played
the
teacher.
light.
Yeah. And
Yeah, right.
prednisone. I was on prednisone for a long time.
Mike's so hot.
Hi, just wanted to let everybody know we're just delaying the meeting for a minute. So if you don't have audio, don't worry, we'll be right with you.
Okay. Your mics are hot.
Excellent. Okay, thank you everybody for the wait. Good evening, this is Mary DeCourcy. I am the chair of the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees, and I'm calling our Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees meeting to order at 6:05 on Wednesday, November 6, 2024. This is an open meeting of the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees. It's being recorded by the Auburn Public Library in the Merriam Room. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cablevision. Is anyone else here recording the meeting? Okay, thank you everybody for the wait. Good evening. The agenda for this meeting was posted on the Auburn Town website on Monday, November 4th, 2024. Permit me to confirm that members of this body and persons anticipated on our agenda are present this evening. Matt Toth, absent. He was unable to join us, so he is watching through ACTV in Florida. Hi, Matt. Erica Briesacker.
Present.
Vera Crane.
Present.
Nan Johnson.
Present.
Lindsay Baker.
Present.
And I, too, Mary DeCourcy, am present. Town employees participating. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dora Vecchio, who's the Assistant Town Manager and the Director of Human Resources.
Present.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. The first item on the, first of all, I want to say thank you for being here. Before we begin, I just want to say, just publicly, Ed and Dory have done a wonderful job supporting the Library Board of Trustees, kind of moving us forward. So I just want to acknowledge that. That she's here this evening at our request to report out on some progress that we'll be learning about. So thank you again for being here. We are going to review minutes. On the agenda, it says August. I don't believe we had an August meeting. That was my typo. We'll be looking at meetings from September 2024, October, and our joint meeting. So if everybody could take a few minutes and let me know if you need the minutes, and we could just look at them over.
The September board meeting.
Yeah, I was just noticing that. So I have October 2nd.
Right. You had said you were doing September in the joint meeting because I wasn't.
Oh, that's my fault. So I will have that one.
I just was like.
My fault. No.
I miss it?
I think I misspoke, so I apologize. And to clarify, we're reviewing the October 2nd, 2024 minutes. I faux pas. I was supposed to produce the others, my mistake. I apologize. So do I have a vote to approve the October 2nd, 2024 minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, great. Thank you, Nan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick roll call. Matt Toth absent. Erica Briesacker.
Yes.
Vera Crane.
Yes.
Nan Johnson was the initial. Lindsay Baker. Mary DeCourcy, yes. So we have unanimous. The next item, and I will have those for the next meeting, which will be in December. I apologize for that. The next is we have space for public comment. And it doesn't look like we have anyone here for public comment. So we are going to move on to the next, which is, again, Dory Vecchio, thank you for being here today. We did reach out and ask you to give us an update on the library director search, progress, changes in staffing, and any other things related to the library that you'd like to share, and allow the board to ask questions.
Great, thank you so much. There's a lot going on. I've been in the library for a month. It's been a great month. The staff here is extremely knowledgeable. I was talking to Nan. She was in on an interview with me earlier today. And I want to say that she offers just a wealth of information for these interviews. I'm so grateful that she's there. We did have our first interview today for a head librarian. We have another one tomorrow, 2 more tomorrow. And I have another gentleman I'm meeting next week. I'm trying to set that up. And there might be a total of 5 or 6.
Wow, awesome.
And it was the first round of interviews. I don't know if we're going to have a second. We'll have to see if we need a second. There's a lot of questions that we ask. We try to get to the nitty-gritty of the direction this new library director wants to go. We want someone here that is not only qualified, but it fits into what we already have. Someone who has experience in some of the things we need that can add a lot. And the questions today were a range of all of those things, and I thought it was a very successful interview. So that's where we are for the head librarian. I'm hoping first round of interviews will definitely be done by next week. And then I think we need to determine if there's a clear cut, someone above the rest, or if we need to cut it down to and have second interviews. And if that's the case, I will advise the board. Staff changing. Now this is to be transparent. We were working on staff changes at the library prior to a month ago when I spent time here. In my time here, I've just seen a lot of what people actually do on a day in, day out basis. And it's extraordinary. We have an amazing staff here. I'm so proud to be working with them, to get to know them. One of the things that we did do that was in the process prior to me coming on was there's 2 admins, the 2 admins, Molly and Dave. Those positions are staying the same, but yet their salaries are getting into a more competitive area. We could lose them in a heartbeat if we didn't do that.
Agreed.
I still think, and I have spoken to the town manager, that it does need to be looked at again for July 1st. And that increase goes back to July 1st of this year. So there'll be some retro. So
Love it.
to be honest with you, because of my lack of experience in libraries, I have a lot of management experience. They are running the library. They are giving me their opinions and their thoughts and their processes, and they are just amazing in what they're coming up with. They deserve it, all of this and more, I have to say. Yes,
We've been saying that for a long
so
time. Thank you.
And to be honest with you, one of them said they knew I wasn't feeling good. They're like, I'll go to the Board of Trustees meeting.
That's awesome.
They didn't mind coming. It's just a good
Culture, climate.
we have a good dialogue.
Nice.
We talk about
Like it.
issues and concerns. We have a big thing about teamwork.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's one of the things we did.
Excellent.
The other thing I did do this week is we have a library associate that actually applied for senior library associate and was put in as the library associate instead of the senior. That's been corrected, and that goes retro back to July 1st as well.
Awesome.
I can't share too much about this but you guys understand the collective bargaining process. I will be making recommendations to their union to resolve some of the other issues that I see. I don't feel I know the town manager has spoken to the union, had a great conversation with them, and we feel that moving forward, we're just gonna have a great relationship, and they're gonna work with us to help achieve what we wanna do with our staffing here. So, the other thing is I advertise for a library associate. We have 2 vacant positions. Once I moved one of the employees up, that made that position open. So I have 2 regular library associate positions open. I got 80 resumes.
Wow.
I whittled it down to like 40, and now I just did a spreadsheet this week to literally look at factual things like degree, customer service experience, break it down into tangible items that you're looking for in a person like this. And Molly and David have been integral in adding their feedback in what type of person needs to be in these positions, because I don't know, that's not my area of expertise, but they offered a wealth of information, and I'm really excited at some of the candidates that we are getting. So for the next meeting, I hope to have 2 library associates.
Excellent.
Yes, we do have an open deputy position. I spoke to the town manager, we wanna wait on that for the director to come in.
Yes.
We do have a children's librarian that's budgeted in the position for 20,000. But that is that's sort of like a part-time, it's like,
Yeah.
that I'm not gonna touch either. We need a whole assessment of the library. But I need to at least get the staffing up to where it should be.
Should be.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So that if someone's sick, they can actually not come to work, which is, I should talk right. So.
Can I just share something that I observed, that it's a huge change, like the library shelves are filled, the place is looking really great. So I just wanna share that. No, I did a nice walkthrough as I do before every meeting, it looks great. It looks cheery, it looks positive. I like the way things are situated, it looks more like a library, like a thinking space, like a hub.
Yeah.
We talked about the hub in our strategic plan. It should feel like a lively place, but where people can also concentrate if they need to.
Yeah.
So looking good.
I did have to speak to a couple of children earlier.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of fun over there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, what are
Yeah.
you playing with?
Yeah.
Just because they get loud.
Yeah.
And it is a smaller space and there are people doing work, but I love it here.
Great.
I wish I got involved in libraries sooner,
Mhm.
but I'm glad that in my position I'll always be working with libraries. So especially hopefully this one.
Great.
I love it. So those are the staffing. Those are my staffing updates I wanted to give you. I have a lot of updates. If you want me to go into the director's report, that I don't know how those were done in the past, so
Okay.
I just did updates for
Okay.
director's reports.
Before you move on to that, does anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask? Because you're doing a great job. This is so exciting, and I'm so excited to hear that the team is given, first of all, the support that they deserve, but also the compensation, because that's something that, as a board, for the last 5 years, we know that they need to grow, and we don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting. Does anybody have anything? Go ahead, Erica.
How many is a full staff currently? Like,
Good
to
question.
be full staff?
So I am still trying to determine that, because just for instance,
Yep.
we have 2 people on a Saturday. This past Saturday, we had one person that wasn't feeling well and came in just like 10 minutes late. Well, we had a program. So my question with management is like, okay, what do we need?
Right.
Is 2 staff enough? No,
Good
okay,
question.
it's not enough. Is 3 enough? We used to have 4. Okay, let's talk about where we've come. So exactly, I don't know, but we're working together to figure it out because each day is different. Some nights are busier than others, some weekends are busier than others if we have programming.
Yeah.
And they have so much knowledge, like, yeah, we used to have 4. I'm like, okay, tell me how that worked. And they explained it, I'm like, well, doesn't that make sense? Like, because if someone's sick, shouldn't they be able to call in sick?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we had a children's program, and we have someone sick. So I just don't want that. And they appreciate it too.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
Of course they do.
And so I don't know. I don't know what it looks
Totally
like yet. I look forward to working with a new director on that to see, we had a lot of questions today about determining which demographics need to be represented more, determining, like, how do you figure that out? So there's just so much that needs to be done that's super exciting, that will actually lead to the answer to that.
Great.
So hopefully, I don't know when, but
Okay.
hopefully in the next few months, depending. So.
I just have a comment. I've been getting feedback. I have not been here, but I've been getting feedback about what a nice vibe there is
Yes.
and how great it is to walk in and, see the different staff either interacting with each other, the way they're interacting with people who walk in, looking for stuff. Just there is a lightness and an airiness that makes it very welcoming.
Great.
Super. They are really good people.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
And they want to do the right thing.
Yes, they do.
And one of the things that, I'll talk about it more in my report is cross-training. You need to know what the other one's doing.
Yes.
You need to work
Agree.
together.
Agree.
You need to, so that alone, they're building stronger relationships. They're learning that there's coverage and backup and not everything's on one person's
That's right.
shoulders. And they are so in tune with patrons and their needs and the areas that they go to and the CDs and the DVDs, and I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, well, that group goes out all the time. Like, they do? So they got the pulse of it. They do, and I don't, but I'm not the library person,
Right.
but I'm thrilled to see they do, and they have great ideas. So I think you're seeing that because where I'm using some of their ideas, because I don't know.
Yeah.
So they have to tell me, and a lot of times they're like, I don't know. I'm like, I think you do. Let's talk about it, because
Yeah.
I know I don't know.
Raise your voice, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Having a voice at the table.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Absolutely. Wonderful, thank you. And anybody else? No, that was great. Thank you so much, Tori.
Okay, so updates, we have a lot going on. And it's interesting because these are areas I never thought I would learn about. We have CDs. Who knew?
I sure do.
Who knew? We have way too many CDs.
Yeah.
We've weeded through the CDs. We have 1,000 less CDs than we had a month ago.
Wow.
So just to give you just a little bit, I'm going to go through what I wrote, but just to get a little understanding of what the staff and I have been working on, is we heard the board loud and clear. We heard the residents loud and clear about periodicals, about a space to come to that's welcoming, that's comfortable.
Yeah.
So we walked back and forth, up, down, over, looked at our units, looked at what makes sense, where things could be moved, where a periodical section would thrive. So this is what we've done. We have weeded through the CDs. They were taken off the wall in the back already. I have DPW is going to fix that wall so it looks like it was never touched, because at one point they had to do a lot of work with the concrete. That is in the process. I worked with DPW on that. Within the next 4 to 6 weeks, we are going to have they're like stands specifically for CDs delivered. Those CDs, we're going to put them over by the DVD section. So they're going to be more in an area where they should be. They've been weeded. We're replacing some of the ones that we need to replace. They're used, some that are used a lot. So we have a really good handle on what we have now. But we did reduce it by about 1,000 that just haven't gone out in 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. So that was the first thing. The periodicals. We are working on the new periodical section. We have ordered 3 brand new periodical stands. The kind of stands that you can look at and you see the periodical, and if you look behind it, you've got the prior month behind it. It holds, I think they hold 48 titles in addition to what we already have, which I think we're going to place strategically around the library because not everyone's going to want to be in that area. So we have to sort of figure out how that works. And I think once it's set up, we'll see where people wander. But we want to put back in that stage, that area where the CDs are, that's where these really nice shelving units that match sort of the wood that we have in that area now, those will be going up. And there's 3, and there's also a spot there that we might be able to do the library of things.
Nice.
So it leaves a little bit of extra space there. So those have been ordered, just like the CD shelving, and hopefully within the next 4 to 6 weeks, all of that will start coming together and you'll see those changes right in the library. Yeah. We used the list of periodicals that the board had helped us with, and also the information that came from social media. So right now we got, I think, 10 out of the 12 that the board had recommended, but we're also looking at, there was a group of others that aren't as popular, but you can tell that people might be interested in. I want to at least get them and see if they get used. Like, let's see if people want these. They were recommended through some sort of social media or whatever, and maybe we'll do a survey to get to nail it down. But a lot of those don't start, I guess you have to order periodicals at a particular time of year, January, for the year. So all those are going to start being infused into the library in January. So it is actually really good timing. And they've been ordered. All the periodicals are ordered too. So it is really exciting. And being here every day, I watch what people do.
Yeah.
They come in, they read their newspaper. They like to feel the book. They like to feel that they're going to like the periodicals. They're going to like, And so I wanna see how that works. Some things may not work, some particular ones and others, and we can fluctuate with that need. But that's the plan right now. Programs have been, a challenge because there were no programs a month ago. So we have, Professor Bugman came in. He was a hit. Spoke to him personally. Little Sparks Theater, 40 Wax. The Lizzie Borden case came in. He was amazing. He's coming back. He's coming back for another one. It's called 1620, the first year historical presentation. So he's coming back, so that's exciting. We have the adult book club. We reestablished a young adults, it's a young adult reading book club. I met with a young girl and her mother, and they established this reading club in the Auburn Public Library over the summer. And for some reason they thought that it ended. I met with them. She told me her idea of it. This is how I see it. This is how it's me and my friends. And there's 6 of us or 7 of us. So we talked about it. We are opening it up to the public. These kids will be in each one. They work with my staff to get books. They choose the books. We get the books for them. They have this is how we build our future.
Yeah.
Like, it's really an exciting,
Absolutely.
it started in the summer and it's picked back up now. So that is one really good thing I'm excited about. We still have the friends come and the knitters use the Merriam Room, which they're lovely. Yes. I'm like, I want to knit. Okay, we're also looking at additional programs. Those are in the form of the staff imaginations and thought processes. And we have a lot of things in the works that you're going to start seeing pop up. I don't want to tell you now. They haven't been advertised, but they're going to be a lot of fun, things that haven't been brought here before, that bring in different age groups, which is definitely something we want to do. So you'll see more of that. Technology. So as the acting library director, who has no library experience, this was fun. We were notified by Event Keeper, who is our reservation system, that we had 7 days to get all our data from our reservation system because they were closing and we weren't going to be able to use them anymore. So luckily for us, we still have it, even though it should have stopped the end of October. We have done outreach. I've got a new company called Assivet. They're fairly local. They will actually, and I've met with them, we have a telephone interview with them and staff to talk about policies and procedures and what this library needs and wants. And it includes not only the reservation system, but it includes a portion for the Library of Things. So it's actually a much larger program than we have now. So that is in the works. Hopefully by the next meeting, that will be up and running and we'll be able to provide you additional information on that. But yeah, it was almost like, okay, let's find a new one. And we did. The other thing my staff, they were talking about, which I thought was really fun, is we have the children's area, which is amazing. Parents don't have a lot to do in there. So one of the people that work for me were like, why don't we set up a computer in there? So maybe they want to work, maybe they want to check their emails, so we spoke to IT and we're getting a desk in both areas for parents so that they can sometimes they come out here and they leave their kids and they have to run back and forth. So they're more in with their children. So we're going to see if that works. We already have the computers, we have the desks, that'll be in the next month or so.
Great.
But that was an idea of someone that works here that sees the dynamic of the parent.
Well, as a frequent user of it, it's very nerve-wracking because the entrance is the first, and I've got a very fast 4-year-old who would get nervous if we lost eyesight. And not that he's a runner, but there's a chance and those doors open.
There's been a couple runners.
Yeah, and makes me uneasy leaving him in there to even just step out to look at the kiosk or so.
The staff here is very
They're
aware.
so vigilant, but
They catch them.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh no, I'm so
Wow.
appreciative, but they're not here to babysit, and also, but also it makes it really hard because you have no mobility because you obviously are going to leave your kid to potentially.
So hopefully that helps this
Yeah, that
situation,
makes sense.
and we'll consider other options too,
Yeah.
because there's enough space there
Yeah.
so that the parent can be with their
One
child.
or two adult-sized comfy chairs, with sitting on lap and reading a book.
Not
If
a
I
bad
had
idea.
to offer
Not a
any
bad
advice,
idea.
yeah,
Great idea.
with empty corner.
Not a bad idea. I think I have some in mind.
Yeah.
I agree. So that's technology that we've been working on. That's more programming. So collection, and you guys have already noticed, in the last month, we've ordered 472 new titles.
Nice.
The majority were in adult fiction. It includes a concerted effort to beef up our science fiction section that has been reduced over the years due to age and whatnot of the books that were there. We've had some people come in and ask us and say, I had one woman say to me, and it was so heartfelt, Auburn was the place I went. I go to all the libraries, and Auburn was science fiction, and now it's gone.
Right.
And I'm like, it's so funny you say that. And we had already been talking about it. So we have a new system in place for our new books that was never done before, and in some cases, they get out the same day they come in.
Wow.
I know. They're amazing, and the teamwork and how they do things and the way they communicate is amazing. You'll see, I don't know, I didn't know a lot about this, but if you walk around the library and you see like a November, it's a bright like orange, it says NOV, that's a brand new book, just came in.
Wonderful.
So if you walk around, I start doing it, I'm like, ooh, that's new, ooh, that's new. They've established a new way to actually code the books because you want to be able to read them over time. You want to know when they come in. I guess in the past it was little dots that were confusing on which dot meant what, but they've developed a new process that makes it easier for them. So, yeah. They've also added a lot of DVDs because for the past several years, people still watch DVDs and they come here and there's nothing new. And I had an employee keep track of it. And all those things that were requested, we now have. Like they're in.
Wonderful.
They're in. And the idea, and I said to them, and they love this because they're here to help people and they want to be able to say, yes, we have it, is to keep track of the requests. We're going to try to do, actually one of them said they thought it was a problem. They wrote it down for me as a problem, but it's not a problem. The problem is that we ordered all the new books that people want, so we don't order them again. So either it's being rented out, which that's not a problem.
No.
But they see it, it's just their thought process. We've already ordered it. I'm like, that's good. So that's ebooks is the same, pretty much the same. We're doing that 1 to 2 orders a month. They're listening to the people coming in. We've got some books, and most of the books are adult fiction and science fiction, biographies, nonfiction, some young adults, and some juvenile. They have a whole new system for DVDs. There's a red sticker new program on the spine if you see it. They've established that for a way to be able to track them efficiently and to be able to weed through them. They recently did that on their own. We had Gumdrop Books come in, and he set up in here, and all the staff were involved. In fact, the friends were here that day too. I asked them if they wanted to just offer their thoughts on it, but we're able to look through books right now, right in front of us, and see what do we need out there. Like, I don't have the expertise because I haven't been here long enough, but they knew. Like, oh, we have something about this, but we don't have something about this. So we had someone, and I guess that's happened before in the library, so that was a lot of fun. So they came in, we're waiting for that order to come in. DVDs, 46 titles, $8,000 in books. Programs have been good. Library of Things. I have a list of 22 Library of Things that I have ready to purchase that we have funding for. And I have 10 to 12 board games on top of that I just found out today are a big thing, very important for Library of Things. in addition to what we had before, which were, I think you guys received it in your last newsletter. So I'm working with staff in developing processes and procedures. I've done outreach to other libraries. It is very detailed and it needs to be properly managed. We are getting the space for it and we're getting set up for it. Up to the point where when, say, someone wants to borrow a game, you need to make sure that all those game pieces are secured in a particular container. We need those containers. We need someone to count those, so there's a lot of things that go along with the library of things, but we are moving along and we're open to suggestions. So if anyone out there has any suggestions, it's a wide variety of home improvement things. I do have someone who specializes, or it's like a music teacher who gave me some ideas on some musical instruments that we might be able to do, because I didn't want to get like the lower end musical instrument that's not going to help the child who's trying to learn how to use it, or even the adults. So that's the library of things. So we're moving along on that. We have started, I don't know if you guys ever get a chance, but after the meeting you should look, we started clearing up the whole back area.
Great.
So we have, staff has emptied, I would say 15 at least, their tall shelves that were everywhere. Inventoried them, put them away, disposed of the things that can't be used or broken, shouldn't be used. And it is a very comfortable working environment. It's good. We did have a team meeting, we call it that, of the 4 full-time staff and myself and the new expanded children's area. There is a plan for furniture in there. The Friends are involved. I know I think there's some funding through the Friends. That was the process that started before I got here, but as a team, we sort of worked out what made sense for that age group. What we already had, because some of it's not out there, because we want to complement what we have back here when we're putting out. And hopefully we'll have that ordered before our next meeting. We definitely will. I just want to make sure that everyone's on the same page, because I like to let things sink in for a few days. Because as you walk through that space, I was like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, that would work. So that we're really close to that. One of the other really cool things that I learned about, that I didn't know about, I don't know if you've learned about it, is the Library Speakers Consortium. Ever hear about it? I didn't. So I did outreach to, her name is Shelby Van Pelt. She's the author for, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Very popular book last year. Okay. Everyone was reading it. I didn't know that. Yeah. So I did outreach to her team.
Neat.
And I said, I want you to come to Auburn. We need adult programming. After learning the cost, I said, thank you so much for getting back to us. You're amazing.
Thanks.
And they said, we'll reduce the price for you. I'm like, I am not going to insult you because it's just exorbitant. So I'm like, how are these other libraries doing it? So I did some research. There's a group out there, Library Speakers Consortium. They work with a lot of libraries in the area, and they provide these speakers. These speakers are remote.
Oh.
You can have, there's a lot of things you can do. If we sign on with them, we can have like a big TV in here, and we can set it up, and there's dialogue, remote dialogue, because you type in, almost like a Zoom meeting, you type in your questions, and then there's interaction.
Cool.
So at the time of the event, or someone can do it at home, because they sign up for the event, and we give them the information where they can actually, from their own home, listen to the speaker and collaborate with them and talk to them about whatever questions they have. And we'll have access to the 80 speakers, including this woman, that have already spoke. We'll get that inventory that we can provide our residents, that they can go on anytime they want and listen. That's the only time, though, that there's not a dialogue, because it's over.
Yeah.
But at least they have, I never knew about this. I was so excited. The cost is not exorbitant. We have the funding. I'm looking to contract.
Awesome.
And it would be something that we put out there in our newsletter and on our social media and on our webpage, on our event schedule, either we may have it here, but even if we don't have it here, anyone can participate from their home, from their car. And it'll be a wide range of speakers, mostly adult speakers. In the summer, they get some children's. Like you'll see a few children's in the afternoon for the summer program. So that's that. And then my last but not least,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Can we track the use of that?
Yes.
And somehow we can-
Awesome.
Yes.
So glad.
We
that you
track
asked.
the use. It's our information. So it's a company that does this for a lot of libraries. But when you go on, it says Auburn Public Library. You sign up, it's our information that we keep. They don't keep any of it. They don't keep the person. They just require a name and an email address. They don't keep that. They give it to us. It's ours we know who's gonna participate and, if there's some speakers that aren't as,
Popular or universally?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
right. But it's all one price, whether we have one speaker or, there's 2 to 3 a month,
Yeah,
every month.
That's exciting.
So, yeah, I wanna see how that works.
Sounds great.
And that was a great question. The last thing is I met with North Architects regarding the expansion.
Great.
We are currently, I also met with staff here and we need a fire suppression system. And we need an alarm system. They need to be either integrated into the Brady room, I'm gonna call it Brady room, construction, or done separately, but it needs to be done.
Okay.
So right now I'm waiting for quotes to come back on those. I'll work with the town manager and our DPW and our engineers to determine the best way, based on funding, how to get that done. But as soon as that's done,
Awesome.
they'll be ready to start speccing it out. They have pretty much everything they need. I am looking at doing additional things that might not be costly. The rug really needs to be replaced, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
and I want to try to incorporate things like that. I'm not sure if I can based on funding, but I feel like if we're gonna do this and they're gonna do it in a way that it closes the libraries for the least amount of time, if there's something that we can incorporate to get a couple other things done, I want to do that. So that is, we're
Awesome.
working on that too.
Well, you're leading a team that's killing it right now.
They
knocking it out of the park.
They are killing it and they're excited and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So you guys have been really working hard. I have constituent patron questions, but I don't want you to feel like you have to answer anything, but rather just things that are coming up. But before I go to them, I wanted to hear from the team. Any specific questions to follow up on that wonderful report?
No, I mean, just.
Yes,
I'm speechless. This is
Yes.
so exciting, and your enthusiasm is infectious, and
It is
we
infectious.
needed this today. So, the fire sport, I mean, that just sounds like something
Necessary.
probably upgrade anyway,
Yes,
right?
yes,
We should probably
yes.
do it. Sounds really safe and nice. I guess one thing I've been trying to sort out, and I'll follow up a little bit offline just on the logistics of this, but just in terms of getting a little better reporting on like budget to actuals and where do we have room for, and obviously we've been looking at the trust funds and
Right.
there's been just money accumulating there, and it's not millions, but it's,
Yeah, right.
it's not nothing. And so I guess my hope and request is that wherever we can partner to like chip in on any of this, like
That's a
especially smaller
really
things.
good point.
We have this like really healthy pool of funds right now, and
Yeah, we
I'm just
do.
like
Yeah.
itching to help make
have-
this improvement.
To be honest, I'm trying to I'm
Yeah,
a finance person before HR, and I'm trying to wrap my arms around it.
yeah, okay.
And I am not there yet
That's
to
fair.
be able to report on it.
That's totally
But
fair.
I have a list of accounts
Mhm.
that I need to look at what they're for, when was it for, is it like, what are the requirements of the accounts, are they new, are they old? I am not there yet, but absolutely, because just even for the Library of Things, the list of my items is $8,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's not small, but we do have the money to do it
Right.
and to do an amazing program. We're very lucky to have that ability, but if we don't have control or an understanding of what we have for pots of funding, what we can use, what we can't use, what just has interest, whatever, then we're in the dark, and I feel a little bit in the dark.
Yeah, because like the bills payable is interesting, I guess, but it doesn't tell us anything, and it's not I'm in a finance institution and I'm thinking about just like what would we care about seeing progress and the budget to actuals and understanding those pools of funds, because I feel like we're all operating a little blind right now, and so we've had these very circular conversations about potential improvements, and I think the lack of movement was because just we're all kind of like cat and mouse on this budget thing. So.
A perfect example is being able to purchase 5 units, 3 for periodicals, 2 for CDs, that match what we have, that are real units for exactly what we need them for.
Right.
They're not a repurposed unit, that we could actually purchase those. I worked with the chief financial officer, and there are different pools of money that I was able to use. I need to understand those pools more. As recent as today, I talked to her about it, because I don't have a complete understanding. I think the town manager may, because he dealt with it for so long as his chief financial position before he became town manager. But I need to have a better understanding, and definitely should be reported to the board.
That would be great.
So I have some questions, feel free to write notes, and again, this is also to the board, but these are things that came to me both in different settings with people live, but also on social media. A question that comes up is whether we're reassessing our library hours, or days and hours. Another thing that comes up is whether we will reconsider late fees, if we could discontinue them. There's some curiosity about what the initial library of things are that we're investing in. And then this one has been one that is really, really important to me. What is the process or the platform, if you will, to get patron feedback? Like on a regular basis, like whether that's a laptop out front, whether there's surveys that we can allow, but people have a lot of feedback. And what happens is on social media, somebody will say something very constructive like this. I thought it was very constructive about late fees. And then they're getting bashed by all these people that just
Social
really
media is
want to.
not the best place
Correct,
for that.
correct. And another comment that came out, and I brought it right to Dave, was that the noise level in terms of being able to focus, and he got right on it. But again, people were bashing, like, why don't you talk to, and I had to respond and say, you are. If you bring it, we bring it right to the team.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this was prior to
And
September.
that's a real issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself went out and spoke to young children today whose parents were right there.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
that's then the argument about why would the expansion not have gone to the ceiling and been more soundproof, because kids make noise.
Yeah, they do.
Like they can't help it.
Right.
And so I think that's a real question.
Right,
And I don't know the answer to that.
And a thing that came up in a past meeting with family members that have individuals with disabilities is sometimes they make more than the average noise. And they don't want to feel, inhibited for their family, that they can't participate in something that the average kid their age participates in without feeling self-conscious. So, and that came up at this table at one point.
I wonder if we could, and I'm open to suggestions, because all in this together, like have something on our website that goes specifically to like me as the acting director for recommendations, comments, concerns, or maybe the town manager. I guess I don't know who the public is gonna be most comfortable with,
Right.
and maybe we could give them a couple of options.
Yeah.
But I agree, I think, honestly, to have someone come up and say, right to my face, your science fiction section used to be amazing.
Okay.
And I'm like, we need you.
Yeah,
We need
that's
you
right.
to tell us this.
That's right.
Yeah.
We need you. And the funny thing is, we were just talking about it, but to have a patron say that was gold.
Yes,
I'm like,
it is gold.
We need, everyone here that
It
works
is.
here knows the importance of what we provide the taxpayers in Auburn. And honestly, some people outside of Auburn that use the Auburn Public Library.
Absolutely.
We are a service, this is what we do. I'm open to any suggestions. I think it's a great idea.
One thought, I used to take the commuter out, and there's always the quiet car, and we have this big open room with desks and things.
Yeah.
Could there just be a block of time, a few days a week, where there's a couple of hours with this is doors are closed, it's a no talking, no phones, no kids, right? Like really.
No children in the pool.
Yeah, right. But but it's where you're here, you really want a place to focus. You know, it wouldn't be hard to set up a laptop on either one of these, and they're not the fanciest, but it would just be such a nice thing to offer because it is open. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
Right,
You're gonna hear people talking
Right.
at the circulation desk. So I don't know, just I don't know how frequently this is booked, like for the whole day, every day,
No,
but
no.
it's such a nice space.
It is a nice
It
space.
has closed doors. This
Great,
would be
yeah.
a great quiet space to come
It
and
would,
work. It's well
and there's
lit.
ways around it, so it doesn't, don't need to come through here. We
Right.
do, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
I feel like since I've been here, that we need, and I know the board has brought it up a million times, but I feel like we need a survey or some sort of
Agreed.
a tool.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like yet,
Right.
but to get out there to everyone, I want outreach to the school department, to the
Agreed.
teens to find out what they
Yeah.
want, so
Yeah.
for our teen area,
Yep.
and the superintendent and what she thinks that
Yeah.
for the teen area, but everyone in town, what do you want from your library?
Right.
What would be helpful for you? Is it a room? We had someone I think yesterday, who came in who needed a quiet space, and we put him in the other room for he did an interview in there. Well, that's what we should be doing.
Right.
Like, that's what we need to
We'll
do.
find that out in our, what would you call it, the program that we'll be doing with the
Strategic.
my brain.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
great.
That's part of that.
It's a huge part of that. And then, you know, one of the things that I know Suzette Dowd had a big role in sort of coordinating a lot of the feedback, but I think what we've all advocated for the past, since I've been on board, is or on a regular basis, whether it's quarterly, whether it's, you know, twice a year, being able to open it up to the public. What do we need to do? Like, what does this place need to look like and feel like for you to come in?
Because things change
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
What you may need last year, you don't need
Correct,
next year, and to keep
correct,
almost the pulse of the community.
correct. I agree.
But I would also suggest, one, giving them multiple streams, right?
Yep.
Some people are old school and wanna write it down.
Yes.
Or some people are comfortable saying something out loud,
Yes.
some people wanna email. So maybe we put a couple of signs up saying, your feedback matters, help us make this
I
library
agree.
better.
I agree.
Here
100%.
are ways to communicate
Yeah,
with us,
right.
right? And then give them a place to drop paper comments if
Absolutely.
they wanna drop paper
That's a
comments.
good idea.
Yeah,
Cause then they can be anonymous, but say like, we want to hear what you need,
right.
let us know in
And-
person, you know,
Yeah,
however.
your voice matters. Like, that would be a nice little,
Yeah.
nice little, what do we call it?
Slogan.
Slogan.
But I would say your feedback matters.
Yeah, your feedback matters.
Because it really does.
Yes, it does.
And it's not just me and the way I think, I've been in government my whole life, but these employees, this is what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they want to know what, and they were the first ones to say, I've had a lot of people ask for this DVD. I'm like, then I think you should get it. like just to get to empower, just get it, let's get it, you know, people start asking for things.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we improve it, but yeah, no, that's all great feedback.
So
I
you
love
said
that.
you ordered 22 library items for the first library things. Can you just talk, no, you don't have to talk about it extensively, but like a couple ideas, like what are the library things?
Yes.
I know that the
Do you think I brought it?
Wi-Fi hotspot was something that was really popular.
So, yeah, we were just talking about that again today. So I heard that T-Mobile provides a hotspot
Okay.
for libraries
Great.
at a reduced cost.
Nice.
So I'm doing research
Great.
on that.
Great.
I did have some issues with IT in regards to renting out computers. And that we're still working through because their concerns are very valid,
Yeah.
very valid. So I need to figure out what other, and I have been in communication with other libraries, direct communication, phone calls, which has been very helpful. Some of the things, I wish I did print it out and I forgot it back there.
The Chromebooks, any chance?
No, but Chromebooks did come up
Okay.
as one of the options
Okay.
as an alternative.
Right.
Actually, you had mentioned it today too,
Very
Nan.
durable.
Yes.
They're inexpensive.
And how do we keep them protected from so that definitely we mentioned iPads, we mentioned so we have to try to figure that
Okay.
out.
Okay.
There I found out today there was a really huge demand for board games. I didn't know that.
That's so cool.
Well, they're expensive and they take up a lot of room.
Yeah, they do.
At your house. and
So
stuff, you
I
just
added
play
on from that meeting today to tonight 12 board games.
Oh, nice.
And back there I'm like, what
Love
board games do you like?
Love it.
Life. Sorry, I like this one. I like
Trouble.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
Trouble's on there.
Yeah.
So we
love
started so I'm adding all these things.
Yeah.
We talked about the Switch, which is a game
Yep.
system.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think I have one or two of those.
Great.
We talked about I'm sorry, I should have brought it with me.
No,
so.
that was adequate, I mean,
The measuring, I guess the electronic laser.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So we have some
awesome.
home
That's neat.
improvement ideas.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of children's things that I think that were there before
Awesome.
that I think will be really fun for people to borrow. But we're looking at the whole range, and we did use the board's list that was presented to me. We're working off that in addition to what other communities are doing and what they're saying is very popular in their communities as well. So I can provide you the list next time. I didn't order it yet because I feel like I need to learn more about the whole thing and managing it as a whole.
Okay.
Because I don't want to jump into something and not use it.
Right, like,
Well said.
is there a lot of demand for like Chromebooks and iPads? Like,
No,
what
no,
do people
So
do?
that's
Well,
what,
that's where we.
and that's where I go back to the survey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Survey.
But the reason I ask is like, I mean, because we, when we do surveys, it could be one person, it could be 5 people, but like, how many of us are carrying around a powerful little computer in our pocket?
Yes.
It could be a lot.
Yeah.
So, and those items are really expensive. So can we get an idea from other area libraries what the utilization is? Cause
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Good point.
would it be neat
Good
to have a hotspot and Chromebooks? Sure, but it's a big investment if the
Yes.
demand is, if the utilization is low, and then we're better off getting board games and like weed
Yes.
whackers for the
Yep.
person who's gonna whack their weeds one
Weed
time a
whackers.
year.
That's on there too.
Awesome.
Like we've got just a whole,
Great.
it's a whole gamut.
Great.
A little embarrassed I don't have it in front of me, but it's household things,
Awesome.
it's kids things,
This is
it's
exciting.
adult things. It's just, it'll be fun. I just feel like I don't want, and when I first started here a month ago, I'm like, sit, getting this. And
Yeah.
as I'm learning more about it, I don't want to rush.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste our money.
Right.
I want to get the right things. I want to get what people want. And I want to be able to manage it properly in regards to if it breaks, who's responsible for what. I do have a lot of policies that I'm working from, but also, like just what you mentioned, fees. Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna go after people for fees? There's gonna be wear and tear. We're not gonna,
Right.
as a free public library,
Right.
we're not gonna necessarily go after people for things like that. So don't wanna just jump into,
Yeah.
so I can provide you an update each month.
And I would encourage you to just to write down Millbury and Webster. They have very active library of things. So any of those questions that you're curious about, it might be a nice conversation.
Yeah.
Because they clearly know, they've clearly been doing it for a while, and they were able, Vera and I went to visit both, and they were able to just really quickly tell us all of the reality of it that we weren't familiar with.
Yeah. And isn't it's expensive?
Yeah, it's
The
extensive.
whole process and
Yeah.
management of the process, storage, the checking. I learned more
Yeah.
about it today. You check everything when it comes back and you
Quality
count the
control,
pieces,
yep.
and I'm like, who does that? And then we talked about volunteers again. Like, so it's
Yeah.
just it's bigger.
Yeah.
But then even like within the scope of board games, right, we have like Trouble and Sorry and all of that, but what about the more adult geared games, like Catan and all of these
Yes.
things,
Yes, those as well. Like, there needs to be, in all of it, there needs to be a nice even balance.
Yeah.
And we need to have some flexibility, so if someone says, I really would like something like that, then we say, yeah, that makes sense, and I think there's a need in the community to be able to do it.
Right.
Like in budget for that each year, and replacement costs as well.
Might be neat, I don't wanna give you any more work to do, but game night, like if there was a teen game night or a family game night that the library hosts,
That would be fun.
that could be cool.
I can say
That
there's
would
a
be fun.
games club at the high school,
Yes.
because my high schooler's in it. And he brings board games from our house and they play all the time. It would be an interesting way to like
Really?
bring
See,
over
that's
high
the type of
schoolers.
thing that I'm trying to,
That'd be cool.
I would like the teen section, it needs to be improved, but I don't want to make the decision how to improve it, and I don't want the staff here to make the decision how to improve it. I want the teens in the town of Auburn to tell me, what would entice you to come here?
Exactly.
When you
Exactly.
leave, and my nephew goes to Auburn Public Schools now, it's his first year in 9th grade, why do you go to Dunkin's
Right.
and sit there and do your homework? Why do you, or McDonald's, yeah, you're gonna grab something to eat, why don't you come to the library? I wanna know why,
Yeah.
what do you need? Why do you come? Because I want more traffic here, I want people to use the library.
Yeah.
My son comes here when he's not in music.
Oh, really?
Well, come here and started coming here as a freshman because he could walk across the street.
Yeah.
To get some homework done, sit around, do some reading. Some of his friends started to come with, and then, when there's activities, it's more difficult, but he did like it. It's
good.
just a matter of if that becomes more common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word on the street.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there were some
Yep.
things in progress in regards to the teen area. I think they were putting up, this was decided way before me, a TV, that there was some interactive type thing. But what I did notice myself, because I like to walk through, is sometimes you'll see a teen in there, and the way the seats are set up, it's like a flat, bench seat, and then a table, and then you have 2 seats across. They don't know anyone else. They move the seat somewhere else so no one can sit with them. But they're teenagers, what do you expect?
Right,
So,
right.
in knowing that,
Right.
what do you do to produce better seating so that they don't feel like they have to do that? So, and I do have some ideas on that too, so, but yeah.
I will
Excellent.
say, be careful what you wish for. The candidate today said over a period of a week's time, there could be as many as 1,000 7th and 8th graders pass through the building. So be careful what you wish for.
Wow.
Yes. I know. And these candidates have immense experience.
Yes.
So when I'm working through these things, especially this library of things, I'm thinking, slow down, someone a lot more knowledgeable is gonna pick this up and run with it. Because it's gonna be something they know much more about than I do, so. But I can still move slowly on it.
But we really appreciate you. I just think that as a board, we just really appreciate you. We appreciate the fact that you've listened, Ed has listened. We've worked really hard to stay together as a body, and it's great to have everybody empowered to be themselves and to have our ideas heard, but also to see them manifest is really wonderful. It just feels very collaborative, and thank you for that.
It feels good for us too.
Good.
Like this isn't, I'm not here saying, no, it's fun.
Yes, it is.
We're having a good time, we're making positive change,
Yes.
and we're doing everything for the right reasons, which are the residents in Auburn, so
Awesome.
it's exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's super exciting to hear about so much progress, and
Yes.
so many new
Right.
things happening all at once, and so
Right.
much expansion. I'm sure that the community will respond accordingly, so,
Yeah, I'm excited and I wanna hear from them.
yeah.
Because I will be here, I'm assuming another month or 2.
Yeah.
Which is a long time.
Right.
I can do a lot, I can manage a lot, and it's a long time to get additional stuff done
Yeah.
in order and get set up for the new director,
Right.
for them to succeed. That's what it's all about. The next person needs to succeed, but our residents need to feel welcome
Yep.
and be able to come here and feel comfortable. And the hours, I'm not sure if there's a desire or need, would definitely look at that. I mean, libraries that's what we're here for. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I recall correctly, I believe this library opens an hour earlier and closes an hour earlier than area libraries, and so the feedback tends to be like, wow, we have that hour on the back end. So I guess one of the questions is how much utilization of the library is there in that first hour? Is it like mostly dead, or do we actually have a lot of people who turn up?
So, and I can tell you just what I learned today from someone who said they had one resident from there 7 to 8 o'clock last night when they were working. That later, that 7 to 8 is not, like even the 6 to 7 is not that busy in the library unless you have a program.
Okay.
But we should know.
Yeah, we should know.
Yeah, there's that, this is just me,
100%.
this is my
Yeah.
perception. When those doors open, you've got your stream, they're coming in for their paper, they're coming in for their, they are coming in here and they're sitting in here and it's constant.
Yeah.
For a while, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a library used like that. And that's how we should be used.
Yeah.
Why should they have to go buy a paper,
Right.
which the cost of living,
Right.
when they could come here, have a great environment and read our paper, they give it back and they leave.
Right, no, if the community utilizes that early hour or 1
Yeah.
hour early,
Then it's valuable. Yeah.
then
But I think we should ask them.
I
Yeah.
agree. 100%.
I think we should ask them.
I mean, on the later hours, if people think we close early and we think that, I know there's one day when we stay open later, and I don't know if the community knows
Thursday.
that. Yeah, like, I don't know if people know
Yeah,
that.
they may not know that. that's another area.
But
I
if
think
we're
we
like
should
that
improve
hot and
communication.
spot in the morning, I mean, that's acceptable.
It's pretty impressive. Obviously, the kids are in school, so
Yeah.
it's an older demographic.
Yep.
And they come in and they read their papers, and I want to be them. I want to be you someday.
Nice, and we have enough papers to.
We have a stack of papers, 'cause and we have multiple. I'm like, wow, okay.
Awesome. Well, that is awesome. I want to, I know that you provided the bills payable, the schedule. I don't want you to feel that you have to report out, but I just wanted to ask the board if you wanted to look through it, if there's any questions that you have. And Dory, you've been so generous with your time and your preparation. I appreciate it. But if there's any specific questions,
I did look through it. I'm usually the one that asks the nitpicky questions, but I think I got a handle on what's.
And if I could just
Yeah.
provide some information
Yeah,
on
please.
how things are purchased.
okay.
So, and I am an MCPPO, so I'm a certified purchasing agent through the state of Massachusetts. And we have to purchase a certain way. Amazon has always been a struggle for MCPPOs because it's not, you don't go to bid, you want to be able to calculate what you're using, what you need to make sure you get the lowest price. Amazon has what we need at the lowest price 9 times out of 10.
Nice.
Awesome.
I know. I don't, it's hard because I still believe
Yeah.
and trust in the MCPPO process.
Right.
Of course, with the bigger construction process and going out to bid and things like that, of course, and disposition of things. But the way we order, the Ingram Library Services, that's all books, all books. And that has been probably the most fun for the staff. But when we had this great, did I tell you about the Halloween party?
No, please.
I can tell you it was so much fun.
Wasn't it
It
crazy?
was joyful and it was insanely packed.
Over
Being
300.
in a crowded
Awesome.
college party full of 5-year-olds, it was a rager. The kids were having a great time.
They did. After we're like, okay, so we need to change the way people come in and where they go and what station they go to, because Dory, they get stuck on yours every time. Like, I know, but I had the things that they had to make a decision about. So they had to choose if they wanted this stuffed animal, that stuffed animal, that stuffed animal, versus making something.
Yeah.
And they had multiple things and it just bogged down the line. So we're like, yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to spread that out next year.
Yeah.
But that's how things work.
Yeah.
But it was a success. We had a lot of adults. We had so many kids. Our face painter was amazing. We were able to get her. She was canceled and I called her. She was able to come back and she did a great job. It was a lot of fun. But we had 305 recorded. I'm sure it was at least probably 30 more.
Nice. It's awesome.
Yep.
That's exciting.
It was fun.
Awesome. Do we have anything else from the board?
Oh, I was just gonna say, go Amazon, if that's like the best price,
Yeah.
it's the best price. And,
Absolutely.
It's fast, it's convenient. We've got an account through the town of Auburn because part of the problem is ordering something when someone's not taking a purchase order. I personally have given my credit card out many times and I do it and I don't like it. I don't like it because I am on the other end, on the fiscal side, I don't think employees should have town credit cards. So I use my own. So Amazon helps with that. It makes it not so difficult. I still use my credit card in some instances, but it's just because you can easily look online what the price is everywhere and you can see what it costs to have it shipped from one location versus Amazon. And the way they are structured now in our communities with Uxbridge and Worcester and Charlton, we're right in the center. We are right there, so the delivery patterns are gonna be quick. We do use them a lot, but it's not because we're lazy, it's because they are actually really good at what they do.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
Low cost, most appropriate, that's
So-
the name of the game.
absolutely. So it's my hope in our next meeting that you may come and introduce us to a new library director. If in fact we
Maybe.
have one, wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm not sure if we'll be able to introduce them yet because I'm not sure we'll be able to get anyone because of they're all professionals in a position similar to this.
Okay.
I don't imagine anyone's gonna leave without giving at least a month to 6 weeks, if not 8 weeks.
And that's
fair.
Because it's just such an important position.
Okay.
hopefully at least at that time I'll be able to say,
Yeah.
you know, who we've chosen.
Great.
And this person has notified their employer that they're coming to Auburn and we can
That's
talk about it. But, it may be December or January,
Awesome.
late December, January, yeah.
I was gonna suggest that at the next meeting, maybe we could finally resurrect those series of questions that you, Steve and I had put together
Yes,
about the
those tactics.
strategic plan,
That's
the
great.
tactics, because this, just tonight, I feel like I'm like, check,
Yeah, yeah,
right, you know, so and I'm browsing this because I,
Out, like,
for some reason,
And I
was
haven't even looked
handed
at that.
a copy of this, but I'm looking back at all of the feedback from the survey conducted, and again, I'm seeing, you know, people want more quiet, you know, study desks and things,
Right,
more
okay.
smaller spaces where they aren't sitting at, if one person's at a table, you're not gonna sit there, especially if they're getting tutored, so desk space gets taken up fast, right? So, but I'm reading things in here that are just like clicking with what we're talking about, and I think it would just be really meaningful if we're gonna ask for another survey to say, hey, you know what, the last time you did this, we did the things that you suggested, so like, your feedback really matters. I think tying this to that I mean, that's everything to make you feel like your feedback.
I'll pull that too.
And I think maybe if that would be the direction of our next meeting, I always ask for agenda items from everybody, but I think that should be like the point of our December meeting is to get update from you. And then if everyone would look at, and I can get you a hard copy, we have it on,
You have more copies.
Yeah,
I have mine, so.
yeah, we also have it up on the website.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I
I need to pull that.
No, absolutely, but I think if we can all, before the next meeting, and I'll prompt everybody and I will provide the meeting notes the meeting minutes that I missed tonight. But to prep everyone to just really look it over, and then if we need to ask you any updates, you'll have it, you'll know what we're talking about, and then what we can do is shape our final meeting of the 2024 year, kind of planning for February.
Yeah.
And we usually break from December, you know, December's the last meeting of February, but then we opt, if we do want to have subcommittee meetings during that time, we vote on that. So this has been a really great meeting.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to you, Dory, to Ed, and to the entire team. Like, we just feel, we've been talking about this for years, and it feels great that it's coming into fruition with your leadership. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So our next scheduled meeting will be here in the Merriam Room, Wednesday, December 4th at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. So we are adjourning at, at 7:11 for the record. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.